What is the easiest way to scale Facebook ads in 2025? I've been running Facebook ads for over a decade now. I literally ran my first Facebook ad for a car detailing business that I started in October of 2015. And now September of 2025, a lot has changed. And over these last 10 years, I've tried dozens and dozens of different methods for scaling Facebook ads. And I've found one that I've been using for the last 3 years now that I've consistently used now for the last 3 years. It's the easiest, it's produced us the best results. And we've tested this all the way up to helping a client do multiple 500K days during Black Friday. So with that being said, you guys are in for a treat today. So let's dive into it. So before I kind of jump into the way I recommend and the way I use every single day, and it's been providing us amazing consistency and scalability, let's just kind of go over a couple of the ways that I've tested over the years. So probably the most common one that I see all the time is duplication, right? And this one right here is where like you're literally either duplicating the campaign or the ad set if ABO, right? And like what will you be doing right here is, let's say you're running at $100 a day. You typically would duplicate this at either $200 a day or $500 a day or even $1,000 a day, right? So basically you launch a campaign and you're either doing ABO or campaign budget optimization, CBO, and then you're literally both of them, you're going to be kind of doing this right here where it's either going to start at $100 a day and then it's starting to see some success, and then you're going to duplicate that campaign or ad set to either $200 a day. That's the most common one where you're just doubling budget. So now you have two basically. You have one running at $100 a day and then one running at $200 a day now. So your total now becomes $300 day of ad spend, right? And then I've seen people do this as well at $500 a day. And then I've also seen people do this with $1,000 a day. So you'd be running this at $100 a day, it's working, duplicate that campaign or ad set to $1,000 a day. Now you're gonna be spending $1,100 a day because you're still keeping that original on. Now, I personally, again, I use this strategy. I used it during a period of time to scale an account where like I duplicated a campaign like this to $200, then I duplicated it to $400, then I duplicated it to $800, to where like we literally had $400, $800, and then like even all the way up to $1,600. So we had all these campaigns running and we're spending what, $700. Oh God, this is math. I think it's going to be coming out to what, 2,400 plus 700. It should be like $3,100 a day in spend. Now it works good during what I would say like hot times, right? Like Black Friday times where like you could literally have the worst creatives, the worst ad account structure, and you just have a product that sells well during a hot time and you can just throw whatever in the account and it crushes. But if none of that is happening, like a hot time, you don't have a hot product, and it's just like you really have to develop really good creatives to sell this in really good, like what I'd say the full funnel approach, then this will just fucking destroy you basically, because you'll get a low success at $100 a day. Now you're not just doubling budget, you're actually tripling budget from $100 to $300 a day, and you're taking what I call like a big step. And I learned this in boxing, and I like to make a lot of analogies from a variety of different things I do in life, because I feel like everything is interconnected between relationships, business, health, wealth, like everything is interconnected in a way. And for me, like boxing, for example, we always like to call, like, I don't know how to say like the exact word, you know, you want to inch your way in basically, inches, right? A lot of people who are in boxing, it's a game of inches, right? Why is it a game of inches? Because literally just a small half inch can mean the difference between you getting knocked the fuck out versus like, hey, you live to see another round. And same thing here with Facebook ads, right? Like I see so many people, they see a little success at $100 a day. You know, you're in the corner right there, you're jabbing them up, you're jabbing someone, and then you see them start to fall back. So you hurry up and run in and throw that big right, and then they slip and throw an uppercut real quick, and then boom, lights out. You on the ground. You just got fucked up. And that's the same thing with Facebook ads. It's like people start seeing a little success, very, very, very little success. And then instead of like, you know, kind of keeping up, doing what they're doing in just small little game of inches to get things moving. They bum rush the corner and then throw all their eggs in the basket to try to hurry up and scale up and get knocked the fuck out. And knock the fuck out in Facebook ads is you lose all your money, and then you have no money now. You blow through your whole budget for the month, right? Like I see a lot of drop shippers. Hey Nick, I have $100 saved up. I'm about to run some Facebook ads. And then like they start off at $5 a day. They get one sale and they're like, holy fuck, it's working. It's amazing. Let me scale it to millions. I'm not gonna be broke anymore. Andrew Tate keeps screaming at me on Twitter. And then like they go and throw their whole their only $100 into the account. And then the next day they get knocked the fuck out. They burn it all. And that's what I find with this duplication method of why I personally hate it, is that unless you have a serious cash stack where like, hey, I'm spending $200 a day right now and I duplicate it to $500 a day, like I could literally lose $500 a day for the next like 6 months and like I won't even notice. Unless you have a serious cash stack like that, and when I say a cash stack, like cash hold card, like hard cold cash in your bank account that like you could blow and be perfectly fine. But if you're not in that position, do not do the duplication method. I do not recommend it. This is an old method right there. The other thing that I hate about the duplication method is that what'll happen here is that you start playing a game of like, you know, like kind of trying to, like if I drop this pin right there and like if I drop that like I did, I'm trying to catch what's called the falling knife. If you ever try to catch a falling knife, do not recommend it. You're going to fuck yourself up. In the same thing with Facebook ads, that's what happens, right? You start off at $100 a day. You know, boom, you get a sale. And then like the next day you duplicate budget. So $100 a day, you duplicate budget. Now you're spending $300 a day now. Then you'll spend that. And then like what'll happen is you'll lose money. So you hurry up and drop it back down to $100 a day. But then like that $100 a day needs some time to optimize. So then what'll happen, you'll see some bad results. Then you'll just turn Facebook ads off from here. Boom. And then you're back down to $0 a day now. Whereas for me, and what I'm going to show you guys that I do, I'm going to start off at $100 a day and I'm going to have a lot of consistency over time. Now, we're not going to get to what I just do yet because we're going to go over some of the other methods as well. The next one, you know, this will be what I call the cost caps and like bid caps folks and stuff like that. And this is basically here where like you may start off at $100 a day. And then what will happen here is like you'll start seeing success with that $100 a day. And like, let's say, for example, you're getting a $25 cost per purchase, cost per acquisition is what I like to call it, right? What will happen here is then you'll go and set up another campaign. And this other campaign here, you'll set up at like, I don't know, something crazy like I don't even say 3,000. Let's say $5,000 a day. Boom. But you'll set a cost cap of, you know, like you getting a 25, you'll probably set this up for like 30, maybe 25. So let's just do that or 25 right there. And you'll set a cost cap of that. That means that Facebook will only spend when it likely can get you a 30 or lower, CPA, right? And this is on paper, like theoretically, like this is amazing, right? But it's terrible because there's been a couple times throughout the year where Facebook just completely ignores that. And now you're on the hook for like spending $5,000 in a single day, you know, and then you're what's called like heavily over margin. They call it like stock trading and stuff like that. When you're over leveraged, right? That basically just means that like, hey, if this trade goes bad, you can get your whole account wiped out and you're going to owe money to the stock market because they gave you like some leverage and stuff like that to where like you could trade more money. So this is not a good situation to be in right here. Again, it only happens like, I would say 2-3 times a year. I see people bitching about it on Twitter where it's like, I set a cost cap of $25 and I have my campaign set at like $50,000 a day or $20,000 a day. And then like Facebook completely ignored the cost cap and spent the full $20K at a complete unprofitable purchase. And like the people that are complaining about this are like people that like literally don't even have like $1,000 to their name. So in this particular situation, it could completely financially destroy you in that particular like situation right there. Now, the other reason why I don't like cost caps and like bid caps and stuff like that, one, it does create a lot more complexity in the account that you have to like worry about and consistently manage. You'll also have different times of the year where like cost caps and bid caps kind of fluctuate. Like for example, Q4, it's more expensive during that period of time right there. So because it's more expensive, you'll notice like your cost caps and bid caps stop spending and you have to like raise them and accept a little bit higher of a cost per purchase to maintain what's called volume in the account and everything. But for me, the other thing I do not like about cost caps is that there's been plenty of times where we're scaling an ad account and we'll find a new winning ad, and that new winning ad right there will literally just like be a much higher cost per purchase, but it brings in so much cold traffic that like all of my other ads do substantially better, and the whole overall campaign performance does significantly better. So that's why I don't like cost caps, is because that if I'm too tight with them, I'm not going to let the account breathe. And if I don't let the account breathe, I'm going to be stuck trying to scale, and I'm only going to be spending pennies a day. Whereas if I just let the account breathe and let the account run on auto and, you know, kind of just have its like basically fun in a way, I notice I get the most consistent results and the most longer term results. And then it also allows me to focus on these other big levers. So cost caps, big caps, I don't do it. I've tested it, don't like it. Duplication method, again, don't like it. So what is the manner that I like doing? You know, those are probably the most three. Oh wait, hold up. There's one more. Surf scaling. Okay. This is a term called or invented by by the master himself, Tim Bird, technically the godfather of Facebook ads. Back in like 2017 is when I first discovered Tim Bird. I was in his free group, Ad Leaks, and then he has like a few other like free groups online. And to be fair, I haven't seen anything from Tim in a long time. So, you know, I don't even know what Tim is technically doing nowadays and everything. But for those who know Tim's an awesome guy. Again, godfather of Facebook ads, in the sense he was one of the OGs that were like really putting out content there at a large scale and stuff. And now, personally, I don't even know what happened to the guy. So Tim, if you're watching this, love to see you, man. But surf scaling, this was invented by Tim. And this was basically where like, you know, you start off with a budget, let's just say $100 a day. And then basically at like 8 a.m., if you're seeing good results, you would double budget and go up to $200 a day, right? And then what would happen is you do that. And then let's say at like 4 p.m., you're still seeing really good results, you would double budget again. So now you're at $400 a day of spend. And then what would happen here is you would spend that, and then at midnight, you would go ahead and you would reset it back down to that $100 a day budget, right, at midnight, so 12 a.m. And then you would basically just go ahead and repeat that again the next day, except the next day, you may add like a little budget, right? So then like, you know, let's actually not delete that. This day, you may go ahead and like 2x that, and then like do it all over again and just repeat. Now, surf scaling's cool. I like to do this a lot, and I still preach surf scaling specifically for days like BFCM, for example, specifically Black Friday, Cyber Monday. That's when I do surf scaling and stuff. This is exactly what looks like my, you know, what I would say technically like my on Black Friday day, you know, strategy and stuff. There's also other times where I call time specific events. So like V-Day, shopping. So like, for example, back in 2021 with metal address signs, right? We started gifting ads on, it was like, I don't know, I think it was January 14th. And then from January 14th to February 7th, you can run what's called gifting ads, specifically for Valentine's Day, which is going to be on February 14th. So you have about 21 days to run Facebook ads to try to get as many people buy a gift for their sweetheart on Valentine's Day. Now, during this time, because I know of a hard cutoff on February 7th, February 7th is just like the shipping cutoff, and it's like the last day that like people are willing to buy things online because they have high believability it's going to come in within 3 to 5 days for, you know, Valentine's Day to give to their wife, girlfriend, whatever. So I only have 21 days to spend as much money as possible on Facebook. Now, the key thing here is that those last 7 days, which is going to be February 1st through February 7th, that's where like the momentum is really going to kick in. So like you're going to be scaling by low amounts from like, let's just say January 14th. And then once it kind of comes like February 1st right here, it's literally just going to rocket up like that for February 7th, right? So between this period right here, I wanted to spend as much money as possible. And during this period of time, this is when I'm doing more surf scaling. The only difference here is that like I'm not really resetting the budget at 12 a.m. Whatever budget I end up with at the end of the day, I'm just kind of letting that roll to the next day, and I'm going to do it all over again because I know I only have a short period of time. This is also too because at this period of time right here, desire is at its peak strength. What do I mean by like peak strength? Again, same thing right here. There is a ton of urgency in the marketplace now around February 1st because Valentine's Day is not that real right here. But right here, this is where like guys are like, oh fuck, Valentine's Day is in 2 weeks. I need to like really start pressing on trying to find something for Valentine's Day for my wife or girlfriend because I don't want to get screamed at. I don't want her to like leave me and stuff like that. I don't want her to break up with me. So like there's a lot more urgency, and that desire goes from small to mass market. Now everyone's looking for a Valentine's Day gift. So all of a sudden, my market went from fucking small to massive. So I have so much more money I can spend throughout a period of time and like hit like my KPIs of what I'm looking for when it comes down to scaling and everything like that. So surf scaling becomes a lot more like the go-to strategy right there because like literally day over day, I'm seeing better and better performance. So like for me, it's just like I can't throw enough money at the ad account. Every time I throw it more money at the ad account, it eats it up and like fucking crushes for me. So like in that particular situation right there, it's a really good situation to be in. So surf scaling, I like it. Again, time-specific events. Time-specific events means there is a hard deadline that like people are aware of, and throughout that period of time right there, it only gets better in performance. So like, for example, I just did a giveaway for a client. Where we gave away this like motorcycle and stuff. It was like a 20K motorcycle, and we did over 200K in profit, additional profit. Thank you to this giveaway and stuff for this particular client. And for this particular client right here, we just did this giveaway. So the giveaway had a hard stop on September 7th, right? Which was a couple days ago for me. Now, we started this giveaway on like June 17th, all right? So almost 3 months. And like when we first started, it was like pennies. Then like September 1st hit, and it rocketed, right? In terms of performance and stuff. Like we literally went from like a 3x ROAS overall to like hitting multiple days of like 4 and 5x ROAS. Why did this rocket? Because now it's getting closer to a particular day that people can feel, and now the urgency went from little to mass. There's a lot larger group of people now that have urgency to buy, and now we're getting a large group of people now starting to come in. So then all we did was deploy our surf scaling right here. We kind of doubled budget a couple times throughout the day. Some days we reset it, but for the most part, we just let it ride. So I really only do surf scaling about 10% of the year. That's it. So I'm not even going to mark this one off as red. I'm actually going to mark this one off as orange, right? Why do we give orange to surf scaling? Because it's not technically wrong. It's not technically right. It's just one of those strategies that we're going to deploy in very specific scenarios like this. Now, let's go to the main one right here. The actual one that I use every single day. The one that I've been actually leveraging literally the last 3 years. The one that's helped me help multiple clients scale to $1 million months. And honestly, what I would say the easiest way to scale ads, right? This is the route I've been using. It literally only takes me, like, I kid you not, 60 seconds a day to do. And like, I only do it once a day. We didn't really talk about this, but like surf scaling, you're stuck behind your fucking computer all day. I live a life. Like, I do other things outside of just sit here, scream at the camera for you guys, and like run ads for clients. Like, I got other things I like to do. I like to go boxing. I like to spend time with my girlfriend. I like to go live a life. I like to go take laps around in my Lamborghini Urus and stuff. I like to do things. So like surf scaling, I literally have to be like a day trader on Wall Street and like adjust the budget throughout the day and like constantly locked in. I just don't want that. It restricts my lifestyle right there, and it creates a 9 to 5 for me. I just don't want that right there. So that's one reason why I can't stand surf scaling. Secondly, I've seen a lot of people blow their accounts doing surf scaling, similar to the duplication method we talked at the beginning of the call. Now, the next one is cost caps and bid caps. I find cost caps and bid caps, it's not technically the worst thing in the world, but I've just seen people, rare instances, blow their whole account and everything. And, I can't sleep well at night knowing we got, a $25 cost of purchase with a $50,000 a day campaign, but that campaign's only going to spin if we hit a cost per acquisition of that goal. I just can't sleep well knowing that, hey, Facebook has shown us periods of time where they completely ignored rules we set as safety precaution, and then the cost per purchase that we set, and literally blew the whole 50K, 25K. And now all of a sudden the client's pissed at us because we're the ones that created that campaign and put that liability on the client. I just can't sleep well at night knowing oh fuck, this could happen any day. Because again, it's happened 2 or 3 times a year. Not that many, but enough to okay, hey, I don't want to wake up one morning and be hey, we blew $100,000 between a couple client accounts today and at a horrible cost per purchase. So I just don't want to be in that particular liability in that position right there. And then duplication method, we've already talked about the game of inches, and I've just seen too many people get knocked out from that. So for me, it's and also too, knowing for this duplication method, it also does create more work with constantly duplicating, so you're in an account a little bit more, and you also too might be spending a little bit more time on it. So for me, what I do, very, very simple. I literally just do 20% increase per day. That is it. It's consistent, very low risk. Let's see, consistent, very low risk. And then the last one I would say is it kind of respects the algo in a little bit. The algorithm isn't as sensitive as a lot of you guys make it seem. A lot of you guys make it seem like this little delicate, China coffee cup that if I just touch it, it'll shatter. I'm literally taking a sledgehammer and beating the fuck out of the Facebook ad account every day. And the ad account barely does anything, in terms of breaking itself. For this right here, it's this respects the algorithm in the sense of okay, hey Nick, we spent $10,000 yesterday. You gave me 20% more to spend today. It doesn't put more workload on Facebook. Whereas hey, we spent $1,000 yesterday. Now you gave me $10,000 today. I have substantially more work to do now when it comes down to trying to find you customers at that target KPI you set. So it respects the algorithm. It allows Facebook to spin freely. And because we start off at a low budget of only $100 a day, maybe we'll even start off at $200-$300 if the client is a little bit more willing to risk for a longer period of time right there. And we're increasing that budget. If you increase $100 a day for 20% per day, it literally comes out to something like $20,000. Oh wait, hold up. For 30 days. It comes out to $20,000 a day in ad spend. So if you take $100 and you go into a Google Sheet and you put $100 in a column, and then you literally just go to the column right below or the box right below it and do equals that one we just put the $100 in, and then times 1.20, and then you drag it down for a full 30 days. It literally comes out from $100 all the way up to $20,000 a day in ad spend. When I'm playing games of hey, we're scaling clients for years, right? We're building businesses with intention. We're building, enterprises and stuff with these clients that we're scaling and stuff like that. Me trying to be worried about tripling budget tomorrow, it just doesn't make sense. Why risk everything for tomorrow when I'm trying to play the long game here? Again, long game is all going to be about marathons over sprints. A lot of these are sprints where I'm running the marathon right here. It's slow, it's steady, and it's honestly the easiest, right? I'm just doing 20% increases a day. Now, for me, I just simply look at yesterday. So I go in the ad account, I click on the little date range, and it says today, yesterday, last 7 days, last 30 days. I literally just click on yesterday. And then I ask myself, hey, is our campaign hitting our target KPI yesterday? Yes? Okay, cool. I click on the little campaign budget, and then there's the edit tool, and you can do budget, and then you can do increase budget, and it says the percentage, and I just type in 20, hit publish, I'm done. I'm outside of the ad account. I keep it extremely simple because I can maintain it for a long period of time, and we're here to play the long game, not the short game. Now, as far as scaling down here, for me, I try not to scale back because I want to be able to take aggressive action with testing new creatives, landing pages, and everything to fix performance. But what I'll do is just pretty much look at the last, like, you know, if we start hitting a plateau in terms of performance, I'll just hold budget there for a couple of days. If I start severely losing money, I'll pull it back by 20% a day. And then from there, that's it. I keep it very simple. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more about this particular strategy that I do, click the link below to have Nick Theriot mentor you. I can actually help you handhold and apply it to your ad account itself. If you enjoyed the channel, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of y'all day. Peace out.